J-Spot Jack Cheese, Cat Pack Comics, MCU. Fuck, I fucked up. Because I was just doing stupid shit with my hands. MCU review movie. Oh my god, movie review week 3. It's Iron Man 2. I think I'll just go down the list. I'll go things I liked, things I didn't like, and then a couple plot holy things that bug me. Starting off with the good. Again, not much, but I'd say the biggest thing is probably all the new additions to the cast in this one. Mickey Rourke's fun as the bad guy. His whole motive and all that is kind of like his motivation is a little like a lot of Marvel villains tend to be, but he's cool. You know, it's fun seeing his characterization of him, which I think that's what Marvel does is they find really great, fun actors or character actors to fill the shoes of the villains, but then they don't really write great villains for the most part. You know, there's definitely some good villains, but I'm trying to focus on the good. Don Cheadle's probably like the biggest one though, because I think he's actually like an improvement on Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard is too militaristic. In Don Cheadle, you actually like believe that he could be friends with Robert Downey Jr. and I don't know. He's just I remember being a little wary of the choice at first, as you are with most recastings, but I like him. I'm glad that they made that change, and it's cool to see him in this one. I like the Beastie Boys music cue when he's sitting in the donut. That's cool. It's like when I was remembering back, that was like the one scene from this movie that I remembered. No. Thinking back, that was like the one scene I remembered, and it was because of that. Hey. Other than that, it's cool, and Iron Man uses the wrist blaster thingies to cut all the guys in half. That's really cool. But why don't they have that in other movies? Because it's really strong. That might be it. That might be it for the good. This movie's kind of shoddily put together. Yeah, so cons. The movie starts off on like a bad note to me, with the expos, the Stark Expo, and then the Senate hearing scenes. Like, I think those are really just kind of. It doesn't feel like Tony Stark being the arrogant, show-offy guy. It feels like it's Marvel. It feels like it's Marvel Studios being like, "Hey, we got this money-making machine now. Come see our movies. Don't you love Tony Stark being cocky?" And it feels like he's too out of... He goes too far with the whole arrogant cockiness. And it just kind of makes him seem out of character. Like, these guys are trying to steal his, like, intellectual property. They're trying to steal the Iron Man suit. And I get that you'd be flippant because, like, fuck those guys. But they're still trying to, like, steal your suit thing, so you should try to take a little more care. You should try to take it a little more seriously than he was. And I don't know. It's just the audience laughing. It just feels too hammy for the Iron Man movies, I guess, or something like that. I've done this recording this part like 4 times already, and I can't quite get the wordage right of why those scenes bug me, but that's as close as I'm gonna get, I guess. Mostly, other than that, like, it's just that a big problem I have with the movie is just that, like, there's nothing really that stands out to me, like, like, at all. Like, above the rest, everything's kind of like, meh. No scenes really stick out except for the one with Beastie Boys, but that's because of the Beastie Boys. The scenes all just kind of like blur together and not in a good way. Fight scenes are kind of bland. Oh, I hate the AC/DC music cues, but that's, I don't know if I'd totally fault the movie for that. I don't know if I could say that they do overkill with it, or if I just think that because I really don't like AC/DC. Like, I was done with it before the first movie ended, so them bringing it back for this was kind of eh. I guess I'll do the plot holy things because I think that's enough for both sides. The first one is like when Rhodey just like takes a suit. Well, one, that was gonna be another knock. 'Cause, like, that's really shitty. Like, I get that they were at odds and he's kind of like thinks he's Tony's caretaker or whatever, but like that's super shitty for him to take, like, just steal his friend's intellectual property and just sell it to his rival, to a rival company, but like to anyone. Like, that's really fucked up. It seems like more heinous of a crime than how it's portrayed in the movie. The plot holy thing is him like actually getting in the suit. Like, I don't know the you know the in-universe explanation, but it's not there in the movie, so fuck it. Like to me, Tony being the person he is, especially in, these ones, especially in this one where he's part of the movie, is how, like, it's not selfish, but he doesn't want anybody using his shit. He's Iron Man, and that's his right. Like, it's his thing. He can keep it if he wants. So you think he would, like, build precautions into the suit so that somebody couldn't just take it. I think maybe he'd build it to his body type specifically. I don't know. Maybe Don Cheadle is the exact height and shape of Robert Downey Jr., but you'd think he would, put in some sort of security. Like, there's less security than there is on people's cell phones. Like, he just steps into it and he automatically knows how to, like, fly it with the right, per output percentage, even though a big chunk of the first movie is Tony, like, learning how to do that after he's programmed them and stuff. So just that, all the him taking that is weird and shitty and unexplained to me, and it bugs me. The other one is Tony, like, solving his whole palladium poisoning thing with, like, that little clue from his dad, and he's got that whole, like, digital display thing of, like, the Expo Center, I think, and he just, like, oh, get rid of this, get rid of that, and then he's like, oh, that's looks like an atom or something, and then he's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. He moves his hands around, and then he's solved it. And I get that Tony Stark is supposed to be, like, the smartest guy on the planet or whatever, but it's a movie, and they should explain it somewhat, other than him just being like, I know this because I'm a genius. And that's another thing that I think is kind of, like, shittily handled, where it's just like, yep, he did it. He did the thing. He fixed it because he's Tony Stark and he's smart. Especially when it's such a major side plot in the movie, I really feel like they should explain how he solved it a little more than they did. But with that, I think that's it. I think that's all I gotta say. And I think it's that there's these plot holes, and I already don't really care for the movie that much. And after I finished it, I was just like, I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. I just really have no desire to. So with all that being said, Iron Man 2 is bad. I guess I don't really need to say yet. I don't really need to say because it's obvious, but where it is on the list. It's the first negative rating. I mean, it's only 3, so I guess that's not a surprise, but I feel like there's not going to be too many of those, even with my new view on the MCU. I don't think there'll be a ton of those, but, maybe I wanted to have at least one in there. Next week is Thor. Just Thor. It feels like I should say something else there. Next time. Next week. Here we go. Next week is Thor.